What's going on, everybody? So today I'm going to be talking about the brand new, and I believe it's the debut full-length album from Krilloan. The name of the album is Emperor Rising, and it releases today. Today, that's right, December 9th. It's out right now. But y'all know it. Before I get into the nitty gritty, let's check out the cover. So, boom, there it is. Oh, do I even need to say anything about this cover? Now that, folks, that right there, oh, that is how you do a heavy metal, power metal cover. It's glorious, absolutely glorious. I mean, you got this warrior dude standing there, raising his sword high in the air. He's up on like like a mountain, or he's just up on these rocks and just raising his sword high up in the air. And the rocks are all kind of jagged, so it almost look I don't know, it just looks really, really cool. Like it's just really powerful scenery there. And you got this dragon like roaring behind him, and there's electricity or lightning going, and the clouds look so cool, like the reddish orange and yellow. Oh, it just looks so sick. It looks so sick. So I love it. I love this thing right here. It just gets me giddy just looking at that thing, because you're in for something good. And as far as does it properly convey what you can expect on the album? Oh, oh yeah, without a doubt. If you're at the CD shop, you never heard of the band before, and you're scrolling through, you're just looking. First of all, this cover is gonna stop you dead in your tracks. I mean, you're gonna be like, "Whoa, what is this? What on earth is this?" Krilloan, and the way their logo looks so sick up there too. Emperor Rising. You see all this, you're like, "Oh, that's an absolute purchase, without a doubt." If only, even if you're someone who just likes country music, you're gonna buy this just so you can have the album like in your house to like display, so people see that and they're like, "Dude, that's sick." It don't matter what music you like, you're gonna buy this because it looks so awesome. But at any rate, if you're like, "Dude, this looks like some it looks like it's a heavy metal, power metal album, hands down. There's no mistaking this for uh, electro pop, or something like that. It's just not going to happen. This ain't ska here. So yeah, it perfectly conveys the music contained within, and it just looks absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. I mean, it's just so sick. It's so sick. I'm a simple guy. You get this awesome looking warrior barbarian dude, a dragon, and sick looking clouds up in the background, and they're striking a cool pill. I'm gonna dig it. But yeah, A plus 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 on both aesthetics and conveying the style of the music. Just awesome, awesome. Anywho, enough about the cover. I could just talk about this cover for the whole album thoughts video. It's just so cool. But yeah, anyway, let's talk about the album itself here. This bad boy, it's got 9 tracks on there and comes in at about 36, 37 minutes. So yeah, it moves at a brisk pace. But for this style of music and the way that it is, that length suits it perfectly, because it doesn't drag on too long. It doesn't feel like it gets repetitive. There's no filler. It is right to the point. So I commend the band for choosing very carefully what they wanted to be include on the album, and not just dumping all kinds of stuff on there like, "Oh, we want it to be closer to an hour." No, it's succinct, it's compact, and yeah, I assume it's exactly what they really wanted to showcase on the album. But yeah, what you're gonna get here. Again, I don't even know if I need to tell you what this sounds like, because you look at the cover and it's like, oh yeah, I know what this is gonna be all about. But yeah, I mean, you're getting some real classic heavy metal, power metal style. They do a really good job of kind of blending that classic heavy metal style, like the new wave of traditional heavy metal, that kind of stuff, with some modern elements. Like it it's got a modern polish on it, but it also has that rawness uh, and feel of like the classic, heavy power metal. So really, really nice blend there, with the recording and the mixing and the mastering and all of that stuff. Because, like I said, it sounds really crisp, it sounds polished, sounds modern, but the music and the essence itself, sounds like it was, taken from back in like the 80s or, what have you, early 90s of that, just heavy metal, power metal style. So it really nice blend here. So I commend them for pulling that off. But yeah, I mean, this album, once it gets going, it just really doesn't stop for the most part. It's a very energetic, very driven, very just powerful album, but very melodic. It's a very melodic, uh, heavy kind of power metal sound. Great, great guitar work. That's just quite speedy, but it has melody to it. Like it has nuance to it. It's not just like, oh, how fast can I play this thing? No, it's got good rhythm to it. It's got a great, like I said, it's not just like, anything like that. It really has just a nice intricacy to it, even though it tends to be moving pretty quick. So I really, really enjoyed that. Just really great guitar work on here. You get some good solos, and like I said, it just a really nice technicality to it, even though it's moving quite quick. But on every subsequent listen, when I would go back and listen to the album again, you really hear it more and more. You're really able to kind of discern those guitar melodies in there, even in spots when before you didn't necessarily pick it out, but you get more and more accustomed to it, and you hear the nuance in it more and more the more you listen to it. So just stellar guitar work. And one other thing that I really appreciate is the incredible bass work, and you can hear the bass really, really well on here. I mean, it is just chugging along and moving, really quick as well. And it's just right in there behind the guitar and just providing that nice extra boost, that nice extra oomph. It kind of fills out the sound a little bit because, yeah, this is a really no frills kind of power metal style. There's no orchestras or symphonies like going crazy. You don't hear anything like that. It's very guitar driven, bass and drums. You're not getting like fancy keyboards and all of that stuff. It's just a very down to the roots, just heavy metal, like I said, power metal driven album with the guitar, bass, drums, you know, and the vocals, of course, which I'll get to. But yeah, but you hear the bass nice and clear. It's back there, it's pumping, and it's really filling out the sound. Because it's like you kind of have like the guitar layered up here, kind of driving things, or adding like everything's just driving the sound, the guitar, the drums, and the bass. But I guess the guitar work is kind of like, it's like on that surface level because you get all the different melodies and, it's kind of driving the direction of the song. And then you have the bass kind of just under it, really pushing it forward and really filling out that sound, giving just extra layer of like richness to the sound. And then under that you have the drums, and that's the drums are like just like the bass, not the bass instrument, but like the bass of the sound. It's all like stacked, and it's just thundering drums. Just really, really great drum work here. It's quick, some really great fills, and it's pumping. It is, and it sounds great. It sounds really, really great. And again, that's just another layer that just really adds to the fullness of the sound here. So yeah, and like I said, the drum work is just exquisite here, and really, really adds to the driving and powerful nature. So everything is just really moving forward, and it just takes you along with it, and it's just a powerful, powerful sound. And then you have the vocals. Great, great vocals, great range, great sound. There's moments where the band, and with the vocals and even the sound, reminds me a little bit sometimes of maybe early, like some Blind Guardian type of stuff. Like, they're heavier kind of sound, because they could get like really grand and add some symphonies and stuff, but I'm talking about the Blind Guardian, when Blind Guardian gets down and dirty and really heavy and driven, kind of like their most recent album, The God Machine. That was more of a collection of their, of like that heavier Blind Guardian sound. At times there's shades of that here. It's no imitation. That's what I'm saying, just at times, like, it reminds you of that, and I say that in the best way possible, as a compliment, really, because it's like, oh man, this is good. It really has um, that much of a memorable sound and that much of a power to it. Where, yeah, even with the vocals and moments, there's like little shades of Hansi Kirsch in there, and yeah, I mean, he's just got a really great voice for an aggressive kind of clean style, but then he can also really wail, and he just has a really dynamic range, and it just impresses me because there's such a powerful sound, driving these songs, that to it feels like a daunting task to try to add vocals to that, I can't imagine like a vocalist like listening to the sound and be like, ooh, man, wow, that is a very strong, powerful sound. So you need a powerful voice, to really be able to come in there and stand on its own, and not be drowned out, or anything like that. Be able to keep up with the sound, but to also have your own dynamic, um, and to also really hit those melodies, the vocal melodies and stuff like that, which he does. He does a really great job of that, and there's really great melodies. It's almost like a melodic, heavy power metal is the best way I could describe it, because there are some really great melodies in here. There's some great anthemic, um, really great anthemic style, almost chant-worthy kind of moments where, it kind of gets you pumped. And there's some really great, they do a good job with like some backing vocals and some like choir. I'm not talking about like grand, uber, operatic choirs or anything, but there's, like I said, they do a good job with some of the backing vocals, and a little bit of choir, like multiple voices at once, kind of singing along in the background, or kind of chanting, or whatnot. And that also, it's just really nice. It's not overused, and it really helps emphasize certain moments, certain melodies, and things like that. So just great job all around. This thing starts out with the song, Prince of Caledor, which really gets things moving along. It really, I think it's a great beginning to the album, because it gets you in there, gets you ready, gets you acclimated to what you can expect on the whole thing. But track two, Sons of the Lion, which was released as a single, is one of my favorite songs on the album. Oh, it just has such a great vibe, such a great energy, great melody. I would recommend anyone who wants to give the album just one chance, and so they're like, oh, tell me one song to listen to determine if I want to hear the whole thing or not. I would honestly say check out Sons of the Lion. I really think that's, if I had to pick one song on the album that fully kind of represents the sound of the whole album, all of its nuance, all of its, um, stylings. Yeah, I really think Sons of the Lion is the best one to listen to, and that would give you a good indication on really what to expect. Yeah, I love that song. Track four is really nice. It's like an instrumental kind of track, and it really kind of breaks things up nice, which is something you don't always get in this style of an album, or this style of music, or sound. A lot of times it's kind of just from beginning to end, just like balls to the wall, just ripping. But it was really nice to have this kind of break. This brief, it's very brief, it's like a minute or something, little instrumental interlude kind of, and it just kind of refreshes you, after the first three songs, it really kind of refreshes you for the remainder of the album, and it just it was an unexpected, a nice surprise in there, that I really enjoyed. And like I said, it just helps. It just creates just kind of a moment, a brief moment of like rest and reflection almost before you take off again, with track five, Emperor Rising. And then after that, you get track six, Break of Dawn, Brothers in Arms, which is what I would say to be like the ballad of the album. As close to a ballad as these guys get, pretty much, because it's not like a super slow like piano kind of thing. But you get some acoustic guitar in there, which was really really nice, and again, just helps freshen things up a little bit. Because again, sometimes but this kind of style, sometimes it's like the bands aren't too experimental. It's just very kind of straightforward, and it's nice to have little things here and there that these guys did, Krilloan, that really helps break up the pace just a little bit. That it just really adds a lot, to the album and to the experience as a whole. So I really appreciate that kind of thing. And yeah, it's a really great kind of ballad style song. I really enjoy it. Great melody. Um, and then it all culminates in track nine, Angel's Sacrifice, which is just a great, great way to end the album. It's just got a really nice sound. And yeah, I think it was the perfect choice to end the album. So yeah, really that's what I have to say about this thing. Really great melodies. You get moments where it just really, you just want to raise your fists in the air and just kind of sing along, or just you kind of get swept up in the sound when it gets kind of, an epic. It kind of rises, to the point of almost as if it's like, getting people ready to go in and have to take on odds that are against them, and things like that. So really really cool. I really dig it, and I like the lyrics too. From what I could pick out, I didn't like read the lyrics, but from what I could hear, some really cool, kind of music that or lyrics that fit the music and the style and the sound really well. And yeah, I'm just very very impressed, of this style of power metal, kind of that classic heavy, new wave of traditional heavy metal, power metal stylings. Um, that this one is one that really stands out, this year for me. There's been some others, but this one's definitely in there with one of those in this styling that stands out. That has more of a uniqueness, a more of character, a personality to it, than just feeling kind of like it's that style just coming off of like a press, like an industrial manufacturing press. Like, oh, here's more, just cookie cutter kind of stuff, just straight and narrow kind of thing. So yeah, there's nuance. There's, like I said, there's personality, there's character to it, a lot of passion put in here, and yeah, I dig it. I really dig it. It's a great sound. And I think folks who are really into this style, into this genre, whether you're into heavy metal, that new wave of traditional heavy metal, power metal, melodic metal, any of those kind of things, there's a lot to like here. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's one that I'm definitely gonna go back to from time to time to give a listen, because again, it's like 36 minutes or so, and great energy, great sound, some just heavy power metal, and yeah, good stuff. These folks really know what they're doing, and like I said, I believe this is their debut full-length album. They released an EP before this, but there's their debut full-length, and it's a heck of a good one, in my honest opinion. So let me know in the comments down below if y'all listened to any of the singles. Did you listen to the EP when that was released? I think a couple of years ago. Um, yeah, what do you think of the band? Up to the album. If you've been listening to them, Or have you listened to the album or already? What do you think of it? Are you going to listen to the album? Let's talk about it in the comments down below, and I'll catch you all next time. Thanks so much for tuning in, Ranger.